Well, there are a lot of ways that people can make modifications to their homes that don't have to be really expensive. And there are specialists in the construction field that can help people figure that out. But the bottom line is, if your home is not safe, you're at much greater risk of having a fall or another injury that could be very, very expensive and could really affect your ability to stay independent.
Nancy with the smiling face. Come on in
Well,
here.
thank you. Good to be
right.
here.
Having a hard time getting up the steps?
No. Okay, well, even if you don't have a disability, you just have to carry a bag of groceries or not looking or have wet feet. Throw rugs can always be a challenge, especially when they get a wrinkle or two in them.
Any little steps that people can take to make their homes more accessible, safer, easier to get around in can make their lives much better and certainly avoid the kind of nasty stuff that nobody wants to have happen.
And it'd be nice if you had a little railing here, something just to keep you stable as you came down. You might, if someone needed it, consider just a pedestal stink instead of one with a cabinet, so the door could swing all the way open and the person, if they were using a walker or a wheelchair, could get right up to the sink. The other thing is that this set of faucet and handles requires that you have a pretty good grip in order to grasp the knob and turn it both on and off. And if you have arthritis or any kind of impairment that affects your ability to grip or to grasp, that could be either painful or just darn right impossible to use. And then there's that common problem where we plug in our electronics wherever is handy and then we don't think about somebody else walking through the room and leaving our cords on the floor. We have to really pay attention of putting things like that in the way of a path of travel so that someone else doesn't come along not realizing it's there and just trip all over the place. It's a good idea to have your medicines near water or juice or whatever you take them with, but reaching up for them can be kind of difficult. And so just keeping them here on the counter might be a better idea than putting them in the cabinet where you have to reach up and try to figure out what you've got up there. And these are really steep steps. If they were perhaps 3 steps that went out a little further with a even landing down there on the sidewalk, I think that would make it much better, but you sure would like to have a railing there. Having things that were in the aisleway would make it a little more difficult. I'd probably have to go sideways to do that, which is a little more challenging, so you'd like to kind of keep those pathways as clear as you possibly can so that you don't have anything that you might trip on or run into. But the challenge, I think, is right here. It's these glass sliding doors. They do a great job of keeping the water in, but they can also make it a challenge to get in and out of the tub. And if you do slip, this rail, if you look right down here, is really sharp. And that can be dangerous for someone if they would fall. That could be a serious threat to injury. So that's something to be really careful of. And if you would need more assistance getting in and out, for example, if you need someone to help you get it in and out, the glass doors would get in the way of that person trying to make that assistance.
I want to go up and get a pair of shoes.
That's not a real good idea. But actually, it would be better if you had a reacher, something that you could stay on the floor, not climb any steps, reach up, grab the box that you need, and just lift it down.
It's so easy in many cases to remove a hazard. It doesn't necessarily have to cost anything to be sure that that throw rug is level and doesn't have any wrinkles in it, or maybe you don't even need it right there.
Overall, she had some very good advice for older people.